Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of March the 6th through the 12th of 2017. This week we will see Mars leave its home sign of Aries and move on into Taurus, where it will stay up until April 21st. Then on the 12th, we will have a full moon in Virgo. Couple things to note here with the Mars in Taurus. It's going to be a much slower energy. I think it's a pace that you should appreciate, even though you're in a hurry to get to your future. You need this time. You need this little slowdown. And it'll be good with other things as well, because with a lot of the dissent that's been present, in society, you'll see people slower to anger. And I think it'd be easier to get along with people. Let's hoping for that, okay? And of course, with the full moon in Virgo now, also the eclipse season, is over. The eclipses still have a 6-month effect. Let's not forget that. But we're not dealing with all of that change that came about. We're dealing with the fallout from the change. Let's put it that way. And I'll tell you what, there is so much change represented here in these cards. Okay? You're still not 100% sure. That could be some, retrograde energy that's going on. You do have Jupiter and Venus both retrograde now. Okay, remember that. So you can't be sure about everything, but yet the change is very much present. And it's something that you're working on. You still have that burning desire. Let's put it that way. So it is totally not impossible. That makes sense? To have a victory this week in a certain area where you've been trying so hard. So you may very well be able to make something happen, because it's like a wish come true. Something in your life eases up. It could be anything. It could be something that was stressing you out, or just getting away from something where it starts to smooth out. Sometimes, did you ever have something that was just going on and going on, and you wake up one day and you realize, wow, it's like noise. And all of a sudden you go, wow, it stopped. It's peaceful. It's that kind of a feeling, okay, where you suddenly realize that, hey, I've overcome that. Whatever it is, it could be absolutely anything. And when it comes to victory, okay, think about this for a minute. Victories inspire you. They inspire you to go on to greater heights, to do more, to create more change. So this is a very positive thing. And you're being given the means this week to do that. That's interesting. All right. There's so much, I'm going to say, passion that's in with this, because you're passionate about your changes. And as far as leadership, whether this is you on the job or someone I feel like people are stepping up. People are taking charge. And it's a good thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's something that's very much needed. Oh, what is that saying? Teamwork makes the dream work, right? Where have I heard that before? I've heard it somewhere. Okay, that's the kind of feeling that's going on. That's where the success is. So it may not be you totally on your own, but it sure has you feeling good. So something is finally gelling. Something is finally working. You're seeing, like, people, and it's not as much about responsibility as it is everybody's in that creative mode. Something switched with that new moon that we just had, okay? And you're starting to see the effects of it and other things that are taking place. There's also, we had, the opposition between Jupiter and Uranus working to break people out of stale situations that they don't belong in anymore. So, like I said, change is in the air. Now, I want to say something in a way that, I can explain it on a general level that you can understand. kind of like what goes up must come down. And, there's been, I want to use the word deceit. Deceit may be possible, where the wool has been pulled over your eyes. There's a lot of disillusionment, because I think what's happening is it's being shown. So this is part of the betrayal that we spoke about last month. So you're speaking up and you're saying, this won't do. I don't like this. I mean, it's really pretty simple. All right. I think it's a beautiful thing. It may, for anyone who did the betraying, it may not be a good thing. Okay. Because we always have to remember that no matter how much good, peace, whatever word you want to use, we achieve in this world, there's always going to be evil. Okay. So it's one of those moments where I want to call it a triumph of sorts. Okay. And so you're loving the change, because I think you're help bringing about the change. So there's teamwork involved in this, and you know that something that has been wrong, and you're working on righting the wrong. This is good. This is really, really good. Can I almost say it's like love wins? And does that mean a love relationship? I don't know. But there is major, like, something will be over. Maybe not this week, but I think the thing of it is that you know that it's going to end. Important decisions are being made. See, it's all about backdoor deals. There's a lot less anxiety for you because of all of this, but there's revelations. But I'm telling you, boy, I started off thinking, so you go into this week kind of blind, and look at all the things that are happening. It's amazing to me. All right, absolutely amazing, because I think I started talking somewhere about the month of March and saying how there was no rest for the weary. It's like you need a scorecard to keep up. All right. I'm always talking about looking around at what's going on, and, not just focusing on what it is you want, because if you're not paying attention to what everyone else is doing, it can affect what you want. Well, it's that kind of thing. All right. You need to be looking at every level: personal, work, relationships, global, wherever you live, whatever's going on. This is a very active week, because, like I said, it's so full of change. But I think that you can be victorious in your change. It's up to you. I think it all depends on which side of the equation that you're on. Okay? If you've been deceitful, if you've been pulling the wool over people's eyes, you're going to be exposed. Woohoo! Right? Yeah. It's something. It's really something. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is amazing to me. Now, as we do this, of course, we're drawing closer to the equinox. And I think, like how you start this week, really a little uncertain about a couple things. I think by the time you get to the equinox, I think that's where the certainty comes in. That won't come up for 2 more weeks when we do this, all right? But we're still going to kind of see it coming. The things that are happening that precipitated are bringing it in. And you just kind of need to have patience with yourself. And I want to say balance is important here, okay, with regard to your focus. And with so much change happening, that's important to remember, okay? Might be time to shift the load. I don't think that you're, able to relinquish any responsibilities at this point. Whatever you have at this point is still going with you. It's still part of what you do. Keep that in mind. But you know what? You're good with it. It's a matter of maintaining the balance. I'm liking this. You've gotten to this point where I think you just kind of say, I've got this. This is a piece of cake. That, I want you to stop for a moment and think about that. A couple years ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, you weren't in any position to do what it is you're doing this week. Now you're just like, it's okay. I got this. I'm good. And you're thankful for the opportunities. And, that Mars and Taurus energy, I think, keeps you grounded enough where you're not. This is hard to even explain. There's so much change and there's so much movement and there's so much information to take in. But it's like it allows you to take your time and get it, but you want to get it all. That's what's important. You want to get it all. You don't want to miss any information, and you don't want to discount it and be stubborn in your outlook on things. I think you have to take everything into consideration that's happening. That's it sounds funny to say it that way, and I know I'm laughing a little bit here, but with regard to, wow, this is like anything, okay? Absolutely anything. If you have been, I want to say, struggling with health issues that were a result of your own, I don't know whether they're food addictions or anything that you've done, and you need to just rise up. And I think you finally reach a point where you're like, you know what, I can do this. I'm telling you, there's a great sense of purpose here this week, where it's like, I've gotten this far. I can fix this too. I can overcome this. I can break free. I'm loving that Jupiter opposing Uranus energy, pushing you to break out, to break away, to have the strength to do it. It's a good thing. A major commitment, I want to say, to yourself. All right. Think of it that way. No matter what's going on, no matter how many commitments you have. For many of you, it feels like it's beyond health. And I spoke about this somewhere else. I believe it was in dailies that were coming out somewhere along the way. But see, this is the thing. You have to, I'm assuming most of you are adults. Many of you may have children, okay? Or whether you do or not. Whatever your responsibilities are, because your responsibilities play into this. Your responsibilities are other people, okay? Situations, your loved ones, and how can you nurture them and assure their safety and well-being if you are not first taking care of you? So there's a huge commitment here. I feel like it's a big deal, more so than it's showing, because you've probably tried for a very long time. Could be the last couple years trying to overcome all this stuff, but no matter what you've done to improve your health or your outlook or anything that makes you feel better, you are not as successful with it as you want. So I think that that's part of what's coming, is you finally being able to get a handle on things. So if it's a diet or a health issue or whatever you're trying to do, I think you're like, I've got this. It does represent new beginnings, and it's rather exciting because all of the details are being worked out. All right. So there was some focus stuff going on here this week, and that's part of it. I think when the Mars and Taurus video on Patreon comes out, and it should be out, and you listen to that, you'll understand that focus is important. And it's like the universe is slowing you down enough, just enough, to make you pay attention to what it is you need to do. Whereas before, you've been trying to accomplish so many things that one thing that you may think about every night before your head hits the pillow, like, yes, I really want to do that. I really want to, da 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 da. And then, but it doesn't happen. It's like now it's allowing you to focus in that direction, and it can be anything. But it affects your well-being as an individual and how you're going to interact with others. So there's a great deal of growth here. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay. I just, it comes through, well, it comes through the universe. All right. Where you're, uh, how can I put this? You just feel better about things. It's like once you've made up your mind that you're going to do what you're going to do, and you've had this conversation with yourself, you put yourself in the position to do it. You know, getting things balanced in your life where they haven't been balanced. Now, is it all going to happen in a day? No. But you have that slow, deliberate energy of Mars and Taurus that's going to push you. But you still have Jupiter and Venus retrograde, which are having you look at other things as well. So there's a great deal that's going on, but this is a week of progress, and it's good progress. I really think it all depends upon who you are and what you've been doing in your life and how you've been leading it. So, there's some really good, I'm going to say happy things that are coming here. I don't know how else to explain them. You're figuring out, like, let's say you had to work in something else, you know, that you wanted to do. Let's just say it was a diet, an exercise routine, something that was going on. You're like, yeah, you're learning to make the right decisions, and you're actually definitely looking at things differently than you were before. And the best way that I can explain that is that sometimes it takes, my phone wants to go, just the right thing happening that alleviates that anxiety. Okay? Where all of a sudden you can suddenly do something that you couldn't do before. To me, it's all about timing. So you've been going along, and then it just happens. It's like all of a sudden it becomes possible. You have the resolve to, I really want to say, break out of the mode that you've been in. That's definitely Jupiter opposing Uranus. So this is a good thing. The fact that you're working on restoring balance to your life, it's going to help you create opportunities. And you're bringing about changes that really help, like you see the saying, things are darkest before the dawn. It's like now you're seeing the dawn. You've been through the dark part. That part's done. It ended with the Pisces solar eclipse. But that's what you're starting to see is the sun rising in your life and things that are happening. Do you still have issues? Yes. But how do you feel about them? Much better. Definitely much better. So this is an amazing week. And like I said, it feels a little bit in between to me because I really think that when we get to the week that starts on the 20th with the equinox, that's where we're going to go, whoa, all right? But there's a lot of inspiration and creativity available to you this week, success that's possible. But if someone's been shady, you're going to say no. See ya, hate to be ya. Got to do something about you. So there's just so much. But your biggest victories are with your own self and how you feel and how you perceive yourself and what it is that you hope to do in the coming weeks and months to put yourself on track for the best part of your life that's yet to come. So I want to thank you all very much for listening. Don't forget to check out those other videos on Patreon, and have a great week, everyone.